What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 11 of Sharpen Your Story podcast. Like always, guys, thank you guys for following us. Thank you for sharing, liking, spreading the word, because that helps us out a lot. I do apologize about last week. Okay, we didn't put a podcast out. We didn't put an episode out because the studio is under construction, and I'm going to shoot a little video today and show you the little upgrade we've done. So we've changed it around. We moved things around. The cameras are in different positions. The table, everything is moving. The wall behind me is obviously different. That's going to get decorated. It's still a work in progress, but we wanted to upgrade it and give you something even a little better than what it is. So thank you guys for your patience. And today, episode 11, we're shooting it. Gio and I, Gio, the co-host, the #1 co-host in the world.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're shooting it together just so we don't miss another week, okay? We don't like missing. But like I said, the studio is under construction with Nate Milliken Creative, the last couple of weeks, changing things around, upgrading our technology and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys. And episode 11 with Mr. Giovanni.
Hey. How's it going, guys? I'm glad to be in this new studio. You know, we're living proof that you always got to be changing. So we went ahead and changed the podcast to keep it real with you guys. But 2023 is gone. How was your 2023?
Man, I can't complain. You know, as I've gotten older, I started saying, you know, thank God for everything. And thank God and every time I talk to somebody older than me, they always say, it's better to be on this side of the earth than 6 feet under the ground. And so,
Amen.
Or the saying is, it's better to be on this side of the dirt, you know? And so when somebody asks me how's everything going, I always say it's better to be on this side of the dirt, you know?
100%. I like that, you know, and I like when people talk like that because words have power. And I don't like when people are always like, it's going, it's this, it's all right. You know, just gloomy. I remember you always do this with the kids. You ask them how's it going, and they're like, it's decent, it's this, it's that. How's your new 2024? It's all right. It's okay. You know, what I'm talking about that. What do you think is the power of small things like that? Like, even with the kids, you always tell them, like, decent, like, that's not a good mindset, right? Just saying, it's decent, it's all right, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I believe in mindset, and this is what this episode is going to be about, actually. Episode 11, Unraveling the Mindset. All of this goes into your mindset. So if you're a complainer, you're always whining, and you're always down, you're eating your mindset up, okay? It's like a cancer. So it eats your brain up, it eats your mindset up. So every time you complain, okay, it makes your mindset weaker because it doesn't see the positive. You know, just like we've talked about being primal and primal instinct, right? But our primal instinct is not used anymore because we live in easy times. So one guy put it to me this way, and he said, man, our primal instinct is covered up. So imagine having your primal instinct, and then there's just a bunch of leaves and branches and trees on top of it, and it's 6 feet under the ground or 4 feet under the ground. You have to uncover it all, and then you'll get to your primal instinct. So how do you uncover it all? You get put in a position that you have to use it. You know? And so the same thing with the mindset. All these negative things, all the things that you say specifically, right, is first what you say to yourself. What do you feed your mind? What do you watch on TV? What do you listen to? And then the people around you. So if everything is negative, you're just covering your mindset up even more and more and more and more. And the more you cover it up, the least you're able to use it to its fullest extent. All right, and so that's why when I teach kids jiu-jitsu, or even adults, I don't let people say negative things. Like when the kid said, one of the kids last week, I'm not going to say his name, he's one of my favorite kids. Yeah. And he did this, you know, he was like, and I'm like, tell me why. You know, tell me why is this, you know, because you have a house. I know your parents feed you. You know, you have clothes, you have water, you have jiu-jitsu. What are you missing? You know, you're healthy. You're not missing anything. Oh, yeah. You wanted a PS5 for Christmas? Okay. You know, you wanted an iPhone for Christmas? Okay. You know, so people forget what we're here for, right? And so when people whine, it's whine because they don't have materialistic things. And so when you whine and you're unhappy because of materialistic things, you ruin your mindset.
Yeah. That's funny you say that, but because I've talked to people like that who's like, people who are feeling the type of way, maybe they're feeling down or whatever, and I'll be like, yeah, but you got a house, you got a car, you got food, you know, there's a lot of places in the world, they don't got that, you know, and even if they had a fraction of what you had, like their dreams is have your life, and you have your life, and you're complaining about it, and you're depressed about it, right? But some people, even then, they'll be like, oh, well, you're not validating my feelings, though. You know, like, I know I got that, and I know I should be grateful, but you're not validating my feelings. What do you say about that? It's like, people are like, oh, you're being so rude, man. Like, I know I got this, you know?
So nobody's gonna like when I say this, but who cares about your feelings? You know, the truth is, who cares about your feelings? Because the world doesn't care about your feelings. But we are in a time and place where your feelings matter, right? And so everything you say, oh, you hurt my feelings. At the end of the day, success, okay? And for me, it's about being a good person and being successful, okay? One thing I know about success, it doesn't care how you feel, okay? You can be a whiner. You can be a pessimist. You can be, you know, somebody that's always playing the victim role. You can be, and people can be upset about that term, but it's a true thing right now. Everybody has a victim wagon they want to jump on. But success doesn't care about any of that, all right? So if you're always playing that, guess what? You're always going to be in the same position. And if you notice one thing about those people, okay? If you notice one thing about those people, they never get anywhere. The ones that are always pessimists, right? The glass is half empty, right? Or the ones that are complaining about, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, and I'm not that, right? They don't really ever get anywhere, you know? It's the people that sound crazy, like, hey, what do you want, Mo? And I tell you what I want, right? And at the time and place of it, I look crazy. And then when I make it happen, it's like, man, you know, some people, this is for me, this eats me up. And somebody said this to me a few weeks ago. And usually I don't forget when somebody says this to me, is it doesn't make sense how you made it happen. You know, they start questioning, like, how did you make it happen? Or it's not adding up, right? This is one thing to it. There's no secret. It's just get up every day and work your butt off. You know, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120 hours a week. That's the only thing. So those people that are whining, they can't get anything done.
Yeah. You know, that's funny you mentioned that because I remember that some people will say, I'm just venting or whatever, right? And I remember this quote by Bruce Lee. It says the power of the words. Back to what we were talking about, the power of words. He said, he was talking about, he was like, don't joke about yourself, you know, but like, oh, like my jujitsu's bad or this and that, or describing yourself, and you might be making a joke out of it, right? But he said, your body, your soul, like, it doesn't know the difference when it's a joke or when it's not a joke. It just hears it and it takes it.
Yep.
You know, so what would you say about that? Like I used to use a lot of like degrading jokes, right? Like degrade myself to make a joke, but eventually I cut that off, and it really does make a difference because you stop trying to like put yourself down to make other people laugh, or trying to put people above you so they like you. That right there's big power. You know, it goes back to the power of words. You know, but obviously we're talking to them. Do not say bad things, but how do you not do that? What do you do to avoid that negative thinking, to avoid that self-degradation, you know, all that negative talk?
So what you said is like, is how a lot of people do that to themselves, right? The thing is that people don't, like, your body is so smart. Your mind is so smart. You know, your system inside of your body is so smart. You're conscious, right? So we're humans, but we are some of the smartest animals out there, all right? Look at what we have done, right? At the end of the day, we're mammals, right? So we're animals. Look what we as animals have done to the world, right? And that's what we're capable of. And we're capable of so much more. When they said that, you know, at one point they were not going to be flying everywhere, or electric cars, right? Or iPhone, where you can FaceTime somebody from across the ocean, from across the world. You see somebody that you love on a phone, on a screen, right? So the body and the mind is capable of everything. But if the mind is not in sync, right? If the mind is not optimistic, if the mind is not bulletproof, you can't accomplish it. So for all those people that are doing the negative, right? Your body starts to believe it, you know? And now for you to have a strong mindset, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to drill it into your head day in and day out. And then 10 years later, and it's not going to be a year. A year later, you're going to be stronger, you know? But 10 years later, you're a different guy. You're a monster, right? You're capable of the biggest things. Why? It's because you drilled that into your head.
Bless.
Thank you. Excuse me. So what you say to your mind, it believes, right? And it's important to do it every single day. Why? Because it takes a lot for it to get in, right? And so you see people, and I'm one of the guys that if you're a complainer, I can't be around you. I just can't do it. I cannot, like if we're in a meeting and I'm meeting new people, you know, for whatever reason it is, I'm in a meeting with these people and I have no choice, right? Or I feel like there's a benefit to me being in this meeting, I'll suck it up. But if I have a choice and I know you're a complainer, I won't even hang out with you. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because that some people are like, well, you're extreme. Well, the truth is that's going to affect you more than you think. You know, the people around you, they'll start changing your mindset, you know?
I agree 100% because I've noticed this in training in the academy or whatever. It's people that complain or people that have that negative energy, like they bring the whole frequency down. Mm-hmm. You know, it's even like when you're in a room and like the room is having a good vibe and then somebody walks in and then like it all dies down, you know?
Yep.
Like, you know, that's just an effect right there of people's energy, you know? And I do believe people have energy, you know, the presence, whether it be a good energy. You know, you've had people in your life that as soon as you meet them, you feel happy to see them, you know? You want to be around them, and you feel inspired. Like, there'll be moments in the academy when, like, I'll be honest, you train with there's certain training partners. One training partner, you're like, oh, if I train with this guy, I can slack off. They won't hold me accountable. You can train with other guys, you're like, okay, this guy's going to call me out if I slack. You know, like that alone, like the energy that they bring, you know, big difference. And it can make I've seen it in my life because you hang out with people that don't hold you accountable and that are cool with whatever you do. Then you just drift through life and you'll never be confronted, right? So you'll be comfortable whole life. But you hang around guys that hold you accountable, you know, that you said you're going to do this. You said you're going to hit 195. You're 240, you know? And then you feel uncomfortable, like, dang, you're right. What am I doing? You know, the power of association is powerful. We've mentioned it many times. And then it really is underrated, you know?
It's because I don't know the whole science behind this, all right? I'll say that up front. But it's because there's receptors in your body, right? It's like a satellite, you know? And so imagine you have a satellite and I have a satellite, and we can transmit signals to each other, right? And some people take it at face value. Like, let's just say little Johnny is sitting here talking to me, and everything he talks about is like, you know, is complaining. It's just doing this the whole time, and he's complaining, and everything he says is negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like imagine having a nice flower that's strong. And then little Johnny comes around and starts whining. The flower starts wilting over. It's the same thing with humans, right? He's transmitting all these signals to me, and I don't want that negative energy. I don't want that weak energy, right? And so that's what a lot of people don't understand is you don't need to be around that because it's going to affect your mindset over a long period of time. Because some things, and it's not like it's crazy. Everybody's heard this, you know? Just say a big goal, and they look at you and they're like, yeah, you're not doing that. You know, or, okay, sure. You know, or why are you doing that? You know, or we just leave it alone, bro. You know, it's all weak. And so over a matter of time, if you hang around people that keep saying that to you, you will literally start believing it. Yeah. You know? And so that's the problem that people don't understand, is in order to have a strong mindset, you have to leave everybody that has a weak mindset alone. Everybody. Doesn't matter who it is. You know? And that's the hard part about when you have a strong mindset is you can't hang with those people. Like for me, like I said, I can't do it. I just cannot do it. If I have to do it for, work or this or that, and I have to do it, that's fine. I'll suck it up. But if it's a choice for me, I won't do it.
Yeah, that's funny. So I want to shift gears a little bit. So 2023 was great, right? Blessed. Obviously, we're here another year. So, of course, it's we're grateful and we're happy that we get to live another year. Thank God for that. But 2024. So, obviously, there's big goals, right? Mm-hmm. So, I know you've mentioned about goals and stuff. But how important is it to start off the year with goals, like with a purpose, compared to starting off the year and you have it in your mind, yeah, I would like to do this, and I would like to do that too, and I would like to make some money, and I'll probably like to get it in shape, What do you say the biggest difference between that and like actually writing down? Because I know you have a method. Mm-hmm. You break it down. Mm-hmm. So what do you say big differences between that, like focused, lined out, and just drifting? I hope I'll do this.
Okay, so that's a very good question, and I'm gonna hurt some feelings with this one. But everything, I remember talking to you, and I was talking to my jiu-jitsu class, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said, when you do something, you have to do it with purpose. You have to do it with intention, okay? And when you do something with purpose and intention, everything aligns, or they start to align. Your body, your conscious, deep down inside of you, starts to believe in it. Your mind starts believing it. When there's a real purpose and there's real intention for whatever you want to do, all right? And so if you are doing it with real intention and real purpose, then there's going to be some success. Now, I have some big goals, right? You know some of them. I know all of them, right? I can work. I know what the truth is. I can work until the day I die, and I still may not achieve these goals. For me, mm-hmm. These are my big, crazy goals, right? But I'm going to get up every day, and I'm going to do something to get closer to that. Because for me, it's a game, right? I love to play the game, all right? And so I have my intention, I have my purpose, and I have my why, right? And so for me, when I set a goal, I'm not just setting it to set it or to put it on Facebook or Instagram. Hey, I have this big goal of, whatever it is. It can be anything. Let's say I know a lot of people are doing this, and this is nothing against you, but hey, new year, new me, I'm going to work out 5 days a week, and I'm going to drink 1 gallon of water, and I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And I'm going to put it on my what kind of board they say? There's a name for this board.
My vision board or what?
I'm going to put this on my vision board, right? And this vision board is decorated and looks cute, and it has all these razzle-dazzles on there, right? And then by the end of the year, they didn't even touch the vision board. That's a prime example, right? So this person did all this, posted it on Instagram, nice little cute picture, and then everybody's commenting, everybody's saying, go girl, go guy, like, hey, go Jimmy, you got this, That's why some people do it. Because new year, new me, the whole world changes. Yeah. Right? And my Coach Mo's Monday Morning Show today, I said that. I said, did you go back to autopilot? It's 8 days later, 7 days after the beginning of the year. We're in the start of the second week. Did you go back to autopilot? And I can guarantee you, this is just a number I'm going to throw, I bet over 75% of the world has already gone to autopilot. Because that's the way we're designed, right? And so that's for the people that just write it with no intention. They just say, hey, these are my goals. Let me write some crazy stuff down, all right? And like I said, this is going to hurt some feelings. That's fine, all right? And then you have the people that just kick it in life and they just kick the rock and like, hey, whatever. They just go with the flow. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, I'm not saying these people are not successful. Some of these people are actually the ones that just go with the flow. Some of these people, luckily, like you can say luckily, these guys sometimes are successful. They just go with the flow. They end up in the right spot at the right time. I know some guys just went with the flow, and they have some money right now. They didn't say, hey, I'm going to go get this. They linked up with the right person. Bam. Everything's changed. But for the majority, if you're just going with the flow, you're going to be one of those people that complain about your situation. You're going to complain about why I don't have enough money, or you compare yourself to these people why does Johnny have this big house? Why does he have the nice cars? Why does he have, vacation whenever he feels like it? Why does he get to go to all his kids' games? You start comparing like that. And why do you compare that way? It's a sense of insecurity. It's lack of confidence. And it's lack of having what you truly want, right? So those people end up being like that, all right? So you got those two people. The ones that just write the goals, and you got the ones that go with the flow. And then you have that dude that I'm going to say is the BMF. He's a bad mofo.
Yeah.
Right? This guy is really out to get the world. Right? He's really out to conquer. And so when this guy writes something down, you know, he truly means it. Right? And he doesn't write it down because it's a new year. Right? This has been written down. You know? He works through the new year. You know, does he add some new goals? Yeah, he adds some new goals. But this guy has his why. This guy has his purpose. This guy is working with intention every single day. This is not like, hey, I'm motivated today. Man, I just saw this new year. This is what I'm going to do. With the motivation.
Yeah.
You have to be able to write these when you're at the lowest motivation. That's when you know what your why is. You know? And so when you are really connected to that reason, then those things, when you write it down, those mean something, right? I've been writing in this notebook. I have a notebook, guys, and it's about this big. You can buy a pack for like $1.50 at Walmart. They come like 6 notepads, small notepads, and since I was 18 probably. And I write down every morning and every night what I want, my big goals. These are not like, hey, I want to lose 5 pounds. This is like ginormous goals.
Yeah.
You know?
Like your life goals.
Life goals. You know, big goals. Some of them are almost unachievable, right? And I've been writing it down every morning and every night. Every morning and every night. Every morning and every night for over 10 years now. All right? And I've scratched some of those things off the list.
Really?
Yes. And so, but every morning and every night, I'll wake up every morning with the intention of working toward these goals. I go to sleep every night with the intention of working toward these goals, all right? And I do that every night because that's the last thing I see before I go to bed. I write them down, I close my eyes, and I envision them. I envision myself doing it, right? And I think about it for a few seconds. Each one, I write down. You know, let's just say one of my goals is a ranch out west. Mm-hmm. So if you want to talk to me about this ranch, right, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know? Like yesterday, I was sitting outside the fire and had the fire going, and I was thinking, like, one day I'm going to be sitting at my house and out west, my cabin, and it's going to be overseeing the mountains, right? And I'm going to see the big mountains, and I'm going to see elk going across. You know, I might see a bear going across, and there's going to be the snowy tops. You know, I'm going to have my jacket on. I'm going to have a big mug, you know, of coffee. Yeah. And I'm going to have maybe a dog, German Shepherd, you know, and then I'm going to have my shotgun, my double barrel shotgun, and I'm just in a rocking chair. You know, my kids are going to be running around.
Wow. So that's very descriptive, right? And
yeah.
Using a lot of power imagination. How much imagination do you use, and how much the importance of, we talked about this before, the importance of like imagining it and feeling it. You know, I know you said that you imagine it and it's like you're there, right?
Yeah.
And that helps you get through the day. So how powerful is not just writing it down, you know, and like, yeah, I want this and this and this and this, but like imagining it and feeling it.
Yeah. So a lot of people just write it down and they forget about it. They just scribble, and move on, right? But imagination is what a lot of people don't know. Imagination is a superpower. It's our human superpower. Everybody asks for superpowers. Imagination is our superpower. Think of it that way, okay? And so when I think of what I want, I truly start seeing it. I get the feeling, like I feel it in my heart. You know that gushy feeling you feel in your heart sometimes?
Yeah.
I get that feeling, right? It makes me so happy. And so some people are like, hey, you're delusional. You're crazy. But they're not going to say that when I'm actually living that life, because I'm going to work to achieve that until the day I die. That's me.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter at what it costs. I'm going to do it at all costs. And I wrote in my notebook the other day, I'm going to do it at all costs, no matter what it costs.
Yeah, I feel you.
Till the day I die. So imagination helps you because the more you use your imagination, the stronger it gets. My imagination wasn't like that before. Ranch, okay, whatever. Maybe I can see like a field, you know? But now I can see the road leading up to it. I can see the log cabin. You know, I can see the animals. I can see the snow. I can see the smoke coming out the chimney, you know, at the wood burning stove, you know, out at the top of the log cabin. I can see when I walk into the house, kick the boots off, and the snow comes off my boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So imagination can get you so much farther, because the truth of it is, when you think of big goals like that, what do you have?
A dream.
You have a dream, but what is the only thing you can use for that dream?
Your mindset.
Your mind, you know, your imagination. That's it. Because otherwise, like, yeah, I can go look at a ranch right now, and I'll come back, whatever. You know, but I can't keep going to a ranch every day and looking at it. But I can keep going back in my head and looking at it. You know? And so imagination, that's mindset. That's building your mindset, right? That's making a creative mindset. You need a very strong mindset, but you need a very creative mindset, you know? And if you sit with me and we talk business, I'll throw out like 40 ideas, like I'm going to do them.
Yeah.
You know, I just just all these crazy business ideas. I just need to do them, right? And it doesn't stop. Like that happens to me all dang day. And when I wake up in the middle of the night, I try not to let it turn on. And this morning it happened. It turned on. And I was like, don't do it. Just go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, you know? But it's because I've trained my imagination. Because there was a point in my life where I didn't have anything. And so all I had was my imagination. I had to use my thoughts. And so because of that, my imagination got so powerful, you know? And this is a prime example. And actually, I'm glad you asked that. Because the other day, Friday, I killed my biggest buck.
Yeah.
Okay? And I've been waiting for this for so freaking long, you know? Ever since I was a kid. And I used to sell shoes in Bolivar. You know, this gives me goosebumps. I used to sell shoes in Bolivar. And on the way to Bolivar, I take 57. I go through Fayette County, Piperton, Moscow, Piperton, Rossville, Moscow, LaGrange, you know, not LaGrange, Grand Junction. Keep going. Fayette County, Hardman County, into Bolivar. And the whole way there is farms with cows, you know, and some of the farms are still there. I showed my little brother, I took him Momo with me, and I showed him all this. And I would point at these certain farms. And just the other day, I pointed at this one farm. And I was like, I remember looking at this farm, and I said, one day I'm going to have something like this, right? And on the way there, that's all I had. I was driving early in the morning to go set up all day in the freezing cold or the burning summer, you know? And every day I did that. And Somali was with me, and I actually texted him. I screenshotted our text, and I sent him the picture. And I said, remember this? And he said, bro, it's crazy how life works. That's his response. He's like, dude, this is unbelievable, right? Because he was the one that heard it every day, day in, day out. And I would sit there, and I'm like, man, imagine like looking out on our cows, our horses, our sheep, you know, our chickens. You know, we have cowboy boots on. We're riding our horses. We're tending to the farm animals. You know, we're doing all this. You know, then we're hunting. You know, and then we'll see a big buck. Like we're always sitting outside. There's a lot of big bucks out there. And so all these hunters will come by, and you'll see all these big bucks on there. And I'm like, man, one day it's gonna happen. And on the way there was a deer processor called Glenn's in Moscow, in the old downtown part. And there's a sign about this big, you know, and I'm going to show it to you right now. It's a small sign, you know, and every time we passed it, it said deer processing. That's all it said, you know. And I said, one day,
deer processing.
that's all it was. But it was Glenn's back in the day, you know. And it was out there on the corner, and I'd pass it. And I'm like, one day I'm going to bring my deer here. I said that.
Yeah.
I said, one day I'm going to bring my deer here. And I told myself I will not do it unless it's a big buck. I won't take a doe there. And I kept doing that, and it's been over 10 years. Over 10 years. And now I had my farm, okay? So I dreamed of the farm. I got the farm, thank God. And I had the cows and everything. And then now it was a cherry on top when I killed the 10-point buck.
Yeah.
You know, and so first thing I thought, like, let's go. You know, got in the truck and drove it all the way out there. Dude, it was like I was a dream. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
None of it. Like the whole way. I was just sitting there and I'm like, man, this is crazy, dude. Like, because back then I was delusional. Some people were going to say that.
Yeah.
People would say that. People have said it to me back then. Okay? But those things happen. You know, so is it delusion or is it me training my mind?
Yeah. Dang. Congratulations on that achievement. But, you know, obviously before it happens, you got to believe it, right? And you got to dream it. I remember it was when Conor McGregor won the second championship. He became a double champ. He had a very famous line. Like, he was like, this is what I dreamed into reality. You know? Would you say the same thing? You were dreaming till it became your reality?
Yeah. So it starts with a dream, right? But it goes back to intention and purpose. It keeps going back to that. Is everybody can dream. Everybody, the whole world. Now, some people is going to be stronger imagination than others. Somebody's going to be able to visualize it better than others. Okay? Now, you tell me something, you told me your goals. And I started talking about them. I started drawing them out for you, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, this dude's crazy, right? But you have to see it way before it happens. You have to see it, okay? And how do you see it? Is you sit there and you just think about it, nonstop the whole time, all right? But you can't just do that. This is where you lose half of the world, okay? You have to be able to do that so you can feel good, because when you do that, you feel good. Because it's kind of like reverse psychology, right? You're playing a game on yourself. So if I start imagining, okay, the ranch out west, because the last thing I told my brother was the other day, I told him this whole story. And I told him the next time, within the next 10 years, so that took me about 10 years. I told him in the next 10 years, you know what's going to be the difference? The difference is going to be I'm going to be pulling an elk out of the mountains of the west. I'm going to be hiking it out. And then I'm going to put it in the truck. And then I'm going to drive down this windy road, down the mountain, out of my ranch, right? Long stretch of road, and all you see is mountains and deer, mule deer, and wolves and bears and mountain lion. All you're going to see is that. And it's going to be cold outside. It's going to be snowy. And I'm going to be driving my elk to the processor. That's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
You know? I've already said it right now. That will happen within the next 10 years. God willing. You know? And so I'm already a step ahead thinking about it, right? But getting back to my point is I can say all of that. But if I don't work my butt day in and day out, from the start of the morning to the end of the night, then it's not going to happen. Because it's not a small dream, right? It's not a small goal. It's a big goal. So I have to do it nonstop. I have to work for it nonstop. And the truth of the matter is that I accepted this. I may work nonstop and I still may not achieve that goal.
Yeah.
But people don't want to accept that. People want a guarantee in life. There is no guarantee. Right? But I promise you this, guys. It will be worth it. You know, because if you don't achieve it, you've become mentally stronger. But if you do achieve it, you're going to be beyond yourself. Right? And Friday, I'm still beyond mine. Until today. I'm looking at every day since Friday, I've been looking at the pictures.
That's crazy.
You know? And so that's what people need to understand. But if you get up and work every day, you harden your mindset. You harden the mind. Right? And so the harder you can make your mind, the stronger you can make your mind, the better chance of success you have to achieve your goals. You know? And so that's what people don't understand is they talk to people that have strong mindsets and they can't be around them because it hurts their feelings. Mm-hmm. It makes them feel smaller. It makes them feel less because they're mentally not on the same wavelength.
Yeah, 100%. And it is true that people do want guarantees because I'm sure you see it all the time. Like in sales, people don't like sales because they want a guarantee. I want to know how much I'm going to make after 40 hours. I want to know how much I'm going to make after 60 hours, you know? But at the same time, that goes back to their belief, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't believe in themselves. Maybe they don't believe, oh, I'm going to make enough sales. I don't need to worry about that, you know? I got the skills to pay the bills, you know? As corny as that is. But
no, that's true, though. That's true.
Mm-hmm. But That's crazy. But obviously we all dream, and everybody has dreams. And I heard Tim Grover say, like, dreams want to live too, just like everybody else. A dream wants to come to reality.
That's powerful.
But if you don't make that dream come true, that dream is just gonna jump off into somebody else's brain, and they're gonna make it. And if that person doesn't make it, it's just gonna keep jumping heads, and they're gonna make it. And the prime example is like, I'm sure you've had ideas, right? Mm-hmm. What if this and this happened? And then what if someone made this product? And then you see it on the TV.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I thought about that first.
Yeah.
That dream was there.
Yep.
You didn't turn it to reality. It jumped to somebody else's head. Now they made it into reality. And now you're salty. Now you're dropping YouTube comments on about how this and this and that and that,
Leave a bad review.
Leave a bad review.
Yeah.
But this is what I feel like everybody struggles with, because obviously we all dream and we all want to accomplish and we want to live the lifestyle. But what do you say someone has their goals, right? And then they start thinking, maybe I can't achieve this. Maybe I can't achieve the goal. That's self-doubt. How do you deal with that self-doubt of, I'm doing all this work and then March comes around and maybe you stop believing. Maybe you're like, dang, maybe it isn't for me. Maybe it's just lucky. Maybe I'm not a lucky person and it won't happen for me.
So that's a normal thing, right? The mind is so powerful, it plays games on you, right? The mind is so powerful, it plays games on you. So that's an absolutely normal thing. And if you have a strong mindset, if you want to say you have a strong mindset, right? And you don't admit this, and you're lying, right? You know how many times I have had doubt about my goals? Now, I don't let it happen all the time, right? There's been times I'm like, man, just for example, just this buck. When we're at the end of the season, we only have a couple weeks left, a few weeks left, And then I got in the stand, and I was like, man, it's probably not going to happen for me this season. Because I've let a lot of bucks walk. Like, I've let a lot. And I'm looking for the big one, right? A mature buck. I've told myself I'm going to shoot a mature buck. I will not shoot a small 9-point, a young 9-point, or a 6-point anymore. That was my first buck, a 6-point. So there's like kind of this rule, unspoken rule, like if you shoot a smaller buck, then you have to go for mature bucks, And so I told myself, no matter what, and I've lit a lot of bucks, and I have them I've taken videos of them, and told myself I won't do it. I'm not going to shoot anything. And a nice 6-point came out the same day, by the way. It was funny. He was nice, but I put my sights on him just to look at him, but I didn't pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. And I told myself I'm not going to do it unless a big buck comes. And my mind started saying, hey, you're probably going to go another season without shooting another big buck. And it almost kind of like accept it. Don't even go to the stand no more. Don't even worry about hunting. Like, the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. It's end of season, right? Mm. And then Friday I woke up and I was like, man, just sleep in. Screw it. What's the chance you're going to get a big buck? And I said, no. You decided to go hunt. You need to get your butt up. It's early in the morning. It's cold. Get your butt up. There's no excuse. Why did I do that now? I forced myself to get up because I had doubt. I made myself work because I had doubt. So if I doubt myself, I make myself work. How do you make doubt and like anxiousness go away? You just get up and do work. If you do work, you do something, it starts to go away. All right? And the next thing you know, this buck, randomly, I was going to shoot a doe. 3 does came out. I was going to shoot it. Randomly out of the right side, he comes out running. This has never happened to me.
Yeah.
30 yards. Just comes out running in front of me, 30 yards. I didn't even see, I just, bam, hit him.
So you shot it while it was running?
I got him to stop, and then I shot him. But my point is, there is no guarantee. And then he came out, for example. What if I missed? That's still not guaranteed until I put him down, right? And so same thing with your goals. There's nothing guaranteed. So if you say that you don't have any doubt, you're lying. Because the bigger the goal, the more doubts you come up in your head sometimes, right? But how do you get rid of those doubts? You make this stronger. How do you make this stronger? You do hard things. The harder things that you do, the less doubt you will get. the harder the things you do, the harder you work, the more confident you get. The more confident you get, the more you start believing in that you're going to achieve your goal. That's the game. There's no secret to it.
Yeah.
So if it's hard for you to get up at 5 a.m., get up at 5 a.m. If it's hard for you to lift 5 days a week, lift 5 days a week. If it's hard for you to read one book a month, read one book a month. If it's hard for you to go on a run, go on a run. Because when you do hard things, your brain expands. It's like a sponge. When you put water, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Your brain is the same way. Okay, and the more you can simulate that, the more you can make it happen, right? The stronger your mind gets. And the more opportunities you start to see because your mind is strong. Doesn't matter how you feel. You start picking and seeing things. And that's what people need to do, right? Because everybody has that. Everybody has doubt. Yeah. I've had doubt. Obviously, now here over 10 years, I'm like, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. I dreamed about it. But there was times and points in my life where I it might not happen.
Yeah.
You know? But when that happens, you have to put your foot down. And you say, hey, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difference. And over half of the population is not willing to say that. And they're not willing to do the work to back it up.
Yeah. You know, that's funny because remember we're having talking about this conversation. What it was like, I was like, I just got a feeling, man. I got a feeling I'm going to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, bro, everybody got that feeling.
I remember that.
They're like, bro, I just feel like something special about me, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, it don't matter. You know, it don't matter if you cute. It don't matter if you this, that, and this. If you don't execute, if you don't got a plan, if you don't purposefully achieve your goals, it's not going to happen for you. You know, it don't matter if, because I feel like a lot of times, and there's no problem if you're religious, right? But I feel like a lot of times people are like, it's going to, what God wants for me is going to happen. Or I know God got me. I know God is not going to fail me, you know? So I feel like at the same time, it's kind of a cop-out, you know? God is going to present opportunities for you, you know? He's not just going to, here you go. One day I'm going to log into my Bank of America, 100 million. You know, it's not going to happen, you know? Like I saw this video of, it was this guy, he was in a field. And he was like praying for bread, right? And then there was clouds and there was a hand reaching out from the clouds. And he gave the guy a plow. Mm-hmm. And the guy was confused. I'm like, bro, I asked you for bread. You know, like God's going to give opportunities. He's not just going to give it straight to you, right? What do you say about that? It was like a lot of times, I know you talked a little bit, but it was like people would just be like, I know he's just going to have for me. Like, I feel special, bro. And I've met a lot of, you know what's funny? I've met a lot of people like my age, and like we're all thinking the same thing. I'm like, yeah, it's going to happen for me. when I broke it down, I'm like, wait a minute. What are we doing that we feel so confident that it's going to happen? Yeah. You know, when it's so few people that it actually happens. Mm-hmm.
So I would say, like, I remember, like, me and you went back and forth hard on this one. All right. And you're like, no, bro. Like, no, Mo. I know me. Like, I just know that God's going to give it to me. All right. So there's two different things, right? I believe. I'm a believer, right? You're a believer. And so, and when I believe, we believe that whatever's written for you, whatever's going to happen has been written for you for thousands of years. Before you came to this earth, we believe you're going to get X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Now, some people are going to say, hey, whatever. That's fine, guys. That's what I believe in my religion. You don't have to believe it. All right? What God wants best for me, God wants best for me. God says, hey, here's, $500 gazillion dollars, and here's $500 gazillion dollars. Okay? But at the end of the day, okay, you have to do the work. I believe that even though certain things are written for you, you have to do X amount of work before you get them. And so it may be written for you to get $100 million, but you may get these $100 million after doing X, Y, and Z. Or losing X, Y, and Z. Sometimes it's blessings in disguise when you lose things or people. And so I believe you have to do the work. And so now when people say like what you said, I think that's delusional. When people talk about delusion, I think that's delusional. Mm-hmm. Because why do you feel like you're going to be successful? I'll tell you why. Because that's the easiest thing to do. Is say, I just know it. God is going to give it to me. I just know. I have a feeling. I just feel it.
Yeah.
How many people we got on this earth?
We got 8 billion and counting.
8 billion people and counting are saying the same thing. I just know one day it's going to happen. No, it's not. That's the easiest thing to do, though, to make you feel good.
Yeah.
You know? But you've never seen those people just get successful. Right now, if you look around, the only ones that you see successful are the ones that are crazy. And the ones that are crazy are working X amount of hours a week. They're not working 40 hours. Okay? Some people go, well, you're crazy for saying, like, you're kind of kicking us down because we work 40 hours. That's just the truth. Now, everybody's definition of success is different. So that's what you have to talk about also, is what is success to you. Success to you might be just having, hey, a wife, a kid, you know, and living paycheck to paycheck, but just because you're happy in your relationship and your family, then that's success. And that is success. I look at that as success. All right? Some people want to have, you know, X amount of dollars in their account. Some people want to have, you know, X amount of cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, Rolls Royce, you know. Some people want to have big mansions across the world. Some people want to have the fanciest clothes and the purses. You know, for me, success is freedom. When I can do what I want whenever I want, that's what success is. And being healthy and having a healthy family. That's it. It's not attached to the dollar. People try to say it's attached to the dollar for me. It's not.
Yeah.
Right? And now the dollar helps it. That's what people don't want to believe. The dollar makes the world turn. You know? So for those people that are saying, hey, I believe I'm successful, let me tell you something. I like that you believe that you will be successful. But if you're not going to do the work, you're not going to be successful.
100%. That's like I want to talk. I said this before. I talked to this old man. He was like, "Man, Gio, people always want to be like, when I hit the lottery, I'm gonna do this and that, but they don't even play the lottery." You know, so that's true, right? When I become successful, I'm gonna do this and that. But what are you doing to become successful? You know, nothing. I'm showing up to work late. I got bad habits. I don't got a good mindset, but I'm still hoping it'll happen for me though.
Yep.
You know, but that's crazy though. But you know the phenomenon of how people always sign up, the new year, new me, right? Mm-hmm. And then come around, honestly, probably a month in, people start dropping like flies. But when it come around to February, people are really out. You know, the majority already dropped off their goals. I probably wanted to get on a diet plan. I stopped meal prepping. I wanted to go to the gym this amount of time. I get out of work late, bro. I'm exhausted, you know. I don't feel like going to lift weights or this and that. I was going to do so many follow-ups that I never did them, right? What do you think that is? Why do you think is that, like, people just can't stay consistent? Like, here's a goal. Come February, I go back to autopilot. You know, why is it they think people just return back to autopilot?
I'm telling you, like, for me, some people are going to say it's crazy. For me, it's your mindset. That's why I wanted to make this episode today. It's because it's mindset, man. It is mindset, 1,000%. Because your mind is not healthy. Your mind is weak. If your mind is weak, you are weak. Okay? So you go back to autopilot. Why? Because it's hard. When you write down that I want to lose 40 pounds in 2024, that's not an easy goal. If I want to make 7 digits in 2024, if I want to have, you know, give me something, a goal.
Let's say I want to win 8 jiu-jitsu competitions.
I want to win 8 jiu-jitsu competitions, right? None of these are easy. And so after a week of working for them, you're wore out. Your mind is like, dang it, boy. Like, chill out. That's what your mind and your body's going to say. Now, it's your choice. When your body says, dang it, boy, I'm tired, your mind should be trained to be like, nope, remember what we want. We want 40 pounds less, to weigh 40 pounds less, and we want to win 8 tournaments. So I need to do the hardest things. I need to beat this body down at the end of the day, right, to make it happen. But it gets so hard. So it gets hard, but your mind is not hard enough. So if your mind is not hard enough, you go back to autopilot. Okay? And so that's why when people talk to me, I just say weak mindset. Or your mindset's not strong enough. And they think I'm crazy, like, coach, but I got this, and your mindset is weak. Because the other thing I talked about is you start making excuses that are not really there. You start making, hey, I got this responsibility. I got that responsibility. And you made those things up. You made them up on the days that you had an obligation to train. You had an obligation to work out. You had an obligation to have a business meeting, get out of your comfort zone, and meet somebody professional and talk to them about your goals. You know, that's one of my goals for this year. I'm going to meet at least 12 new people that I haven't went to lunch with or dinner or a cup of coffee, and I'm going to make it happen. For me, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it, right? I'm going to make every excuse. We had a meeting on Tuesday. I have to reschedule. I had something come up. Right? I made up an excuse because it's hard on me.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what people do, is they make excuses up because it gets hard. So if your mind is not strong enough, you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off the horse.
Dang, that's crazy. I remember put it to me this way, like when it comes to like excuses, because everybody has excuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like remember there'll be Friday nights that I didn't want to train, and then my family's gonna go out to eat, and I'm like my brain was like, well, if I go out to eat with them, then I got a good excuse right there, right? I was spending time with my family. My family not gonna last forever, bro. You want me to not spend time with my family? Come on now. You know, you make these good excuses to not put into work. Remember I put it to me, this was like, obviously these thoughts are gonna come, so you need to have like a response in your brain. So when these excuses start coming up, you don't even have to mentally process it. You already know how to react. Mm-hmm. It's just like in competition and fighting, right? You fight how you train. So when you see this, you just react. You don't even got to think about it. You just react. So you got to counter those negative thoughts with positive thoughts that you already thought about to do. You know, so because it is mentally taxing. Mm-hmm. You know, but I guess it's simple, right? When it gets down to it, you just got to do it, right? There's not like, because I'm like, I'll catch myself sometimes, like, let's say I'll have a bad night in grappling, right? Not a bad night. It just, I couldn't execute my game plan, and there's whatever. That don't mean it's bad. Right. You know, if you're training, it's good. But things didn't go the way I wanted them to. And then I'll start, like, looking up videos, like, how to do this, that, like, trying to find a quick fix. You know, and I feel like a lot of people do that as well. Like, people trying to find quick fixes instead of like, no, just bite down, like put your head down and just grind hard, you know? Mm-hmm. What do you say? Like, what do you agree? There's no, you can't escape that part. There's no leaping that it's gonna hurt, that it's gonna suck. You know, obviously nobody thinks about that. You listen to Grant Cardone and the entrepreneurs, and you see the flashy lifestyle. You see Andrew Tate. You see him looking cool with his Ferraris, right? But you don't see the part where he's hustling or where maybe he's just working on a computer, right? Right. So the grind is inevitable.
You can't cheat the grind, right? You can't skip the hard work. The only way you beat that nervousness and excuses, and the only way that you make your mind stronger, your mindset stronger, is you just get up and do it. It does not matter how bad you feel. It doesn't matter how bad you feel. You still have to get up and do it. That's it. There's no excuses to it. The harder you work, the better your mindset, the stronger your mindset will get, okay? There's no, hey, this is hard, let me jump over it and succeed. Now, you might get away with it sometimes, right? But it's going to bite you back somewhere, right? Rent is due every single day for success. Rent is due every single day. This is not at the end of the month. This is not at the end of the week. This is not at the end of the year, where I get to pay a one-time payment, and I have success. Rent is due every single day for success. People don't want to accept that, and people may say, "Well, you're crazy." That's not true. It is. Okay, it's due every single day, and you have to get up every single day and do something. All right, and a lot of people don't want to do that. And so that's why we lose a lot of people to their goals or whatever it is, or they fall off, go to autopilot 2 weeks after the beginning of the year. All right, is you have to do it every single day. There's nothing about it. You know,
that's so crazy because that is so true when you put it like that. That is rent is your rent is due for success every day. Because I'm gonna lie, it'll be times when I would work out, and then I had a hard workout session. And it was like, all right, I did it, man. I did it. And then I thought about, like, I got to do this Monday again. I'm like, dang, man. Like, I feel like I just hit it. You know, I feel like a lot of people is like that. Like, I'll work out hard this time. Or even one of the biggest examples is like people got a weight goal and they drop to the weight, and then I hit it, and the next you know, bounce right back up. You're in the same position, right? I've seen people that are always like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. But that's great thinking about it like that. But that is very exhausting to think about. That every day I gotta work. You know, that is very exhausting. You know, I guess that's why only so few people can maintain the lifestyle, because it is comfortable. But I want to say this, right? It is exhausting. You know, but why is it worth it? Why go through all that pain? Why suffer? Why be uncomfortable, right? There's a goal, right? But why be comfortable? Why be uncomfortable? Why put yourself in these situations when you can just be comfortable at home, you know? Get home, chill, pop on Netflix, go to work, never feel challenged, you know? Just straight comfortable, you know? I'm not scared for my life. I'm just chilling, I'm vibing. Why would I replace that with being uncomfortable and working out and then my chest burning and my body aching? Why would I want to trade that?
So we're going to close it out with this, actually. And it's going to hurt a lot of feelings. Why should I go through the exhausting days? Why should I go through the pain and the being uncomfortable? Why should I put the long days in? Why should I do it instead of just going home being normal? Because let's talk from being a man. Mm-hmm. Most of the problems that we have today is because we don't have any men left. Okay, that's it. Okay, because all of these men don't want to do that, right? Back in the day, building America, building all these countries, all the men had to do hard work. Okay, they had to go out and hunt for their food. They had to go out and hunt to take care of their wife and kids. They had to go build the fence with their hands. They had to go chop wood with their hands. They didn't have nice chainsaws. They didn't have all this machinery where you can get a machine these days that hook it up, saws a tree, runs it through, takes all the branches off and cuts it up for you, one motion. Okay, you didn't have that. You had men that had to work with their raw hands, sometimes not even any gloves. Okay. And they had to do this every single day, all right? And so these men were hard men. They were strong men, okay? And because of that, we built a great country. Now, okay, you don't see that. What you see weak, pathetic men that are always whining and crying about things, okay? You see them sitting on a couch, laying on a couch. Their T-shirt doesn't even go all the way down. Their belly button is showing. They got Cheetos on their fingers, all right? And they're watching TV all day, all right? That's the problem that we have today. So these are the same guys that are typing on Instagram and YouTube and all of this and talk about why is this guy successful. All right? So why should you do it? So you don't be that guy. Why should you do it? Because we would have a better community and a better country. You'll be a better husband, a father, a dad, a brother if you did that. That's why. Okay? Instead of going home moping about your job to your wife's going to think you're pathetic, right? That's what happens these days. You go home, oh, I don't like my job, honey. This happened at work. I couldn't get a sale. Well, all I hear is a weak, pathetic dude. And who wants a weak, pathetic dude? Right? Nobody.
Not a woman.
You know? And so that's why you should do it. It's not for you. We don't do this for us. That's what people don't understand. People are going to say that. People that feel less than us. Well, Mo, I've heard this plenty of times. Mo, you're money hungry. You're this, and if you know me, I don't care nothing about money at all, right? So you're not doing this. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for somebody. I'm doing this for a community. I'm doing this for something bigger than me, right? So that's why you should get up every single day and work your butt off. It's exhausting, yeah. You're going to be tired, yeah. Are you going to be contemplating whether you want to keep doing it? Yeah. Are you going to be laying on the couch? Yeah. This is part of it. But if we don't do anything about it, if we don't change the way we act or the reality about it, then we're going to keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker as a community. That's it. Divorce rates are going to keep going up, and all these men are just going to be crying and whining, typing on Instagram, Facebook comments.
Yeah.
You don't see, in today's time, go under any post on social media, you'll see a grown man whining and crying about something. A grown man that has a wife, has kids, and that has a job and everything, he's complaining on social media about something. Well, if you're a man, don't complain. Go say it to that dude's face. Come say it to my face. But you're not a man. You know, and so all of this goes back to that. Some people are like, well, where did you get the 2 from? It's this. If you don't have this, you're not no dang man, right? And if you don't have this, you can't be successful. They go they go hand in hand. So that's why you should get up every single day and do it. Because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your wife, your kids, your family, your community, and your country. That's why. You know? And so we're going to close it out on that, guys. We got to catch a jiu-jitsu class. But like always, you know, sharpen that sword. Because if you sharpen that sword, guys, you'll be mentally stronger. You'll be physically strong. Remember, you have 2 swords. Okay, you have 2 of these things. I have them. We're redoing a studio. You have 2 of these things. All right? Why are you laughing?
No, it's awesome.
One is your mind, one is your body, guys. You have to get up every single day and pay the dues, okay? You have to get up every single day and sharpen those swords. This way you're not weak, and you'll be able to provide for your family, your community, your country, and you can be better for somebody else and help somebody else, all right? So thank you for staying to the end of this. Please like, share, comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next week. We'll see you on the next Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Peace out, guys.
Peace.